Australian exporters are raising concerns a possible Trump administration could make it harder to send products to the United States. The former US president is promising to apply a 10% tariff to all imports if he is re-elected on November 6.
Australia and the United States are closely linked through defence and trade ties.
We are able to export anything that we produce without having to incur these additional costs as well.
For almost 20 years, Australia has enjoyed free trade with the United States. The former US President Donald Trump has proposed a 10% tariff on all imports into the US. He believes the tax would boost local industry. But there are concerns what a tariff would mean for Australian businesses that send their goods overseas.
It is very hard on the economy. It doesn't help. We've seen that happening, especially recently with China, right? Because of the tariffs that were imposed to Australian products, the wine industry suffered.
Trade with the US was worth almost $99 billion for Australia in 2023. In wine alone, the US is Australia's third largest trade partner.
Certainly don't want any barriers to market, and so a free trade agreement just removes the barriers to market, which gives us more confidence and more certainty over our pricing and the market.
South Australia's Bird and Hand winery has been exporting to the US for 10 years. Founder Andrew Newton says any trade limitations would hit an industry that's still recovering from the effects of the Chinese tariffs. They were in effect from 2020 to March this year.
For us, and obviously it's a really big market, the American market. Any time that tariffs or those sort of things are mentioned, it creates uncertainty, and uncertainty is no good for any business.
Flinders University politics professor Rodrigo Prano says it's a sign the US could return to isolationist policies if Donald Trump returns to the White House.
When people talk about Donald Trump and Trump's policies, people tend to portray him as a new phenomenon, as something different, something that kind of like breaks against norms. But in terms of the policies themselves, especially when you're talking about this tendency towards isolationism, it is not very different from what was US policy for several hundred years.
He says Australia's defence ties to the United States could protect the country from any tariffs. But as Australia continues to rebuild its relationship with China, limits could be tested.
The closer our ties evolve with China, the more complicated the relationship could become with the US.
Monique Van Hayden, Sky News.